The Old Mansion 2. Years had passed since the group had helped the ghost of the old mansion find peace. They had all moved on with their lives, but the memory of that fateful night still lingered in their minds. One day, Jane, one of the members of the group, received a letter in the mail. It was from the current owner of the old mansion, inviting her to a charity event that he was hosting at the mansion. Jane was hesitant to accept the invitation, but something inside her urged her to go. She wanted to see if the mansion was still haunted, or if the ghost of the child had finally found peace. She arrived at the mansion on a crisp autumn evening. The mansion had been beautifully restored and decorated for the charity event. The current owner of the mansion greeted her warmly and showed her around the mansion. As they walked through the mansion, Jane felt a sense of unease. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about the place. She asked the owner if he had ever experienced any strange occurrences in the mansion, but he dismissed her question and attributed it to her imagination. The charity event was in full swing, with guests dressed in their finest attire, enjoying the music and the elegant setting. Jane mingled with the guests, but she couldn't shake off the feeling that something was wrong. As the night went on, the guests began to leave one by one, until Jane was the only guest left. She asked the owner if she could spend the night in one of the guest rooms, as she didn't want to drive back home in the middle of the night. The owner agreed, and Jane was shown to one of the guest rooms. As she settled in for the night, she heard strange noises coming from the hallway. It sounded like the footsteps of a child running up and down the hallway. Jane got up and opened the door, but there was no one there. She dismissed it as her imagination and went back to bed. But the noises persisted throughout the night, and Jane couldn't sleep. The next morning, Jane told the owner about the noises she had heard. He again dismissed it, but Jane knew that there was something wrong with the mansion. She decided to investigate further and began to dig deeper into the history of the mansion. She discovered that the current owner had only recently acquired the mansion, and that it had been empty for many years before that. She also found out that there were rumors of the mansion being haunted by the ghost of a child. Jane became convinced that the ghost of the child had returned to haunt the mansion. She contacted her old group of friends, and they agreed to help her investigate the mansion and try to help the ghost find peace once again. As they explored the mansion, they discovered that the room where the child had been kept locked up was still locked. They managed to break the lock and opened the door, revealing a dark and musty room. Inside the room, they found a doll that had belonged to the child. It was old and worn, but it still looked as if it had been recently played with. They also found a note written in the child's handwriting, asking for help. The group knew that they had to do something to help the ghost of the child. They contacted the same psychic medium who had helped them before, and she confirmed that the ghost of the child was still trapped in the mansion and needed their help to move on. They held another séance, and this time the ghost of the child appeared before them. She told them that she was unable to find peace because she had been separated from her doll. She begged the group to find her doll and bring it to her so that she could finally rest in peace. The group searched the mansion, and after hours of searching, they finally found the doll in one of the old storage rooms. They brought the doll back to the child's room and placed it on the bed. As soon as the doll was in place, the ghost of the child appeared once again, this time with a smile on her face. She thanked the group for their help and told them that she could finally rest in peace. With the ghost of the child finally at peace, the mansion felt different. The feeling of unease that had been present before was now gone, and the mansion felt warm and welcoming. The current owner of the mansion thanked the group for their help and told them that he would keep the doll in the child's room as a reminder of the mansion's past. As the group left the mansion, they all felt a sense of closure. They had helped the ghost of the child find peace, and they knew that they had done the right thing. Years later, the group reunited once again, this time in a different location. They reminisced about the events that had taken place at the old mansion, and they all agreed that it had been a life-changing experience. They all went on to live their lives, but the memory of the old mansion and the ghost of the child would always stay with them. They knew that they had been part of something special, and that they had helped a lost soul find her way home.